Hello, dear twin flames, and welcome to this new reading for this moment in time. I got the spread for this reading. The upper row is for the divine masculine, and the lower row is for the divine feminine. So, without any delay, let's start with the first card here. The first card here is the Two of Wands. We see the divine masculine waiting for a new dawn to break. Okay, for him, the sun is the divine feminine. So dawn would mean either hearing from the divine feminine or seeing the divine feminine. Feeling the energy of the sun. That's when he feels your energy, when you text him, when you call him. Okay, and then seeing the sun, when you all meet, when he actually sees you in person. That is the light in his life. If you notice, he's wearing the color of the root chakra, blood red, color of the root chakra. So, what I'm getting is, a divine masculine fear is deeply rooted in this root chakra. Okay, this fear, what many divine feminines cannot understand is the divine masculine fear is one of the primordial survival fears of men. It's not just being scared of a heartbreak or scared of a breakup. It's not as simple as that. It is a subconscious fear of the primordial survival fear type. Okay, thinking that the end of the connection will mean that this divine gift will be taken away from them. He will not be able to survive without the divine feminine. Therefore, right now he's not willing to take a risk, but also he is not willing to let go. He's just being in a state where he's hoping for a miracle. Okay, now this energy of the divine masculine reminds me of the movie The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. So those of you who have seen the movie and those of you who have not, please go and see the movie. So Bilbo Baggins, he's the hobbit who is very happy to live in his shire. Shire is this beautiful, place that he lives in. He is happy to live in a fixed routine life. He likes routine, he likes stability. He does not want or crave any adventure, and he will never take a risk. Always wanting to be safe. Okay, so Bilbo Baggins' house is, it's like built into the earth. Okay, so it kind of represents a woman's womb. So you can say that, that's a twin flame relationship shown there. How this man, okay, the hobbits, you notice they are short. I would say it's a representation of somebody who's living from their root chakra. Okay, they're short. So when in a relationship, they like to be safe. Okay, they do not want to take any risk. They like a routine relationship. They are very scared that the relationship will end. It's not just any kind of fear. It's like a fear of the actual survival. Okay, and this Bilbo Baggins, he represents the unawakened guy that the divine masculine was, operating from his root chakra. But unexpectedly, he finds himself on a journey to find a great treasure. Okay, so the divine masculine, I feel, is a bit like our Bilbo Baggins. The treasure is the divine feminine, also his own God self, which he needs to find. Bilbo Baggins found a lot of courage on this journey. So it was a very difficult journey. It's the same journey. I think the Hobbit and an unexpected journey is the journey of the twin flames, mostly of the divine masculine. So the Hobbit represents the masculine living from his base chakra, very much coming from his base chakra, from his root chakra. Okay, very much fearing for survival, living in a primordial fear of how he will survive if the relationship ends. Root chakra unbalanced. I'm not saying it's a balanced root chakra. A balanced root chakra would be healthy, but he's a guy, the unawakened divine masculine with the unbalanced root chakra. Okay, I hope I made my point clear. So, moving forward, we go to the second card. This card is, how the divine masculine sees the divine feminine. Okay, see the Empress here. She is the divine feminine who rules his heart. He sees her as Gaia. He sees her as Mother Earth. He sees her as the feminine principle. He sees her as Goddess Isis. He sees her also as Aphrodite, also as Venus. She is the representation of love for him in its God sense. He wishes to express how his heart skips a beat when his divine feminine sends him a message, and how much he wishes he would have the courage to reply, but he feels paralyzed by this same fear here, which I try to explain. Okay. He feels paralyzed by this fear, which comes from the base chakra. Evolution is when he will ascend, his energy will go from the root chakra to the crown chakra. That is evolution, that is awakening. When you're operating from the crown chakra, and in fact there are 12 chakras, not only 7. When you ascend, what is ascension? You're ascending from the chakras. You're ascending from living from the root chakra to the sacral, to the solar plexus, to the heart, to the throat, to the third eye, to the crown, and then you go beyond that. That is your ascension. So that's why the divine masculine behaves the way he does. Okay, now we go here to this card, which is going to explain to us the challenge which he faces. You see here, old man here, old person I would say, there are 3 hands receiving, but only 1 hand giving. This 1 hand is of the divine feminine. Okay, I see this old person here, and I think spiritually the divine feminine is the older soul and also more spiritually evolved. Okay, now we see 3 hands. They are receiving. They are the divine masculine's mind, body and soul respectively. These 3 hands. So the divine feminine is nurturing the relationship in all the aspects of love. There is the eros, that is romantic love. There is philia, the love between friends, and there is agape, which is divine love. So the divine feminine, because of her divine nature, she is nurturing and giving every kind of love to the divine masculine. Okay, I feel the clothes of this person are grey here because resentment has got into the giving. The highest love is when you give without resentment, or you give without wanting anything in return. Okay, but yeah, there's a limit in relationships. When there is a give and take, there is a limit. You can say God's love is, the agape, where God is giving us and not expecting anything in return. Okay, I don't think God really wants us to worship her or the other gods, him. I think the word worship should be like, it could be, the word worship could have been made into worship to mislead humanity. I think God wants us to love her and him. I think God wants every person in the universe to love each other and everybody to love him or her, so that the vibration of the universe increases and the universe keeps expanding. Okay, for me, I think that is the truth. Okay, coming back to our reading. So I feel that the clothes are gray because now resentment has come into the picture. The divine feminine feels resentful that she is giving so much and giving everything and not receiving anything in return from the divine masculine. Okay, now the divine masculine, he knows he's not giving anything to the divine feminine. You see this pentacles sort of like, I would say here, growing from the trees. I think they represent that love grows on trees. Love doesn't cost anything. It's free. And it would not be a big thing from the divine feminine's point of view for the divine masculine to give her that love. But the divine masculine thinks that its cost would be an imminent soul death. Okay, we'll come to the next card here. So we see here, this card represents what the divine masculine is doing right now. You see this mer kids, I would call them mer kids, you can say mer children. Okay, mer kids, they're playing in the water. The divine masculine is remembering the pure and most innocent joy he felt in the bubble phase and the other times that he spent with his divine feminine. His old soul, which is ready to graduate or ascend from the physical plane of the earth in his last lifetime, feels like a small kid again. The joy of childhood is similar to the joy he experiences in the time he spends with his divine feminine. The feeling of heaven on earth. Also, 6 is number of balance. Okay, this is the 6 of cups. It represents the complete balance he feels about the twin flame relationship. He is very ecstatic about finding someone who, while sharing the same outlook towards life, also has a very unique personality which completely complements his. So Spirit is advising the divine masculine that, reminiscing about the time with your DF in the past will help the divine masculine get more vitality and energy to work for reunion. But it does not serve his highest good to be stuck in the past. Remember that it's only the present moment, and spending precious life force energy in wishing he could turn back time will not help to raise his vibration at all. Okay, we come to the next card now. This card is telling us how the divine masculine feels. In this card you see, this is a Native American card. I love my Native American deck. I really love that deck. So in this deck you see, in this card you see what is called a pipe tomahawk. Okay, it's a Native American weapon. Now what is special about this pipe tomahawk is, you see the blade here. On one side it's a weapon used to, kill, and on the other side this pipe is used as a ceremonial smoking pipe. You can see the smoke coming out of here, right? So that's what is special about this pipe tomahawk. Okay, so the symbolism in our journey about this is, while the divine masculine wishes for a new beginning, okay, what happens is he thinks a relationship with the divine feminine will give him the highest joy and pleasure. It's this side, the smoking. It gives you joy and pleasure, releases endorphins. Okay, but he also thinks that the relationship could be short-lived and, just like smoking, be injurious to his health and survival. And also he feels that the divine feminine may not love him really, like after she gets to know the real him, she will not really love him like the artificial pleasure of smoke. The pleasure of smoke, it's not something real, right? It's artificially induced. So that's what he thinks, that maybe she doesn't, she right now she thinks she's in love with me because she doesn't know me. Okay, so he thinks this love is not real and may not last once she gets to know the real me. That's how he feels. It's very complicated, very complex, but that's how he feels. Okay. Also, we come to the other side of the blade. Okay, if we are talking about the other side of the blade of this pipe tomahawk, he feels if he cuts off all contact with the divine feminine, okay, he can eliminate the potential risk of soul death. That's one option. Cut off all contact from the divine feminine, try to move on with your life. So there is no risk of heartbreak, no risk of soul death. But it is not in his control to do this. He just cannot run away. I mean, he runs away, but he cannot run away forever. He always has to come back. He has to come back. Because, twin flames, they are like two oppositely charged magnets which are drawn together, and they have no control over this attraction. I mean, the magnets, they cannot decide, right? That, okay, this is the like positive side, positive pole, whatever, and I'm not going to go near the positive pole. The magnets have no say in that. It's how the magnets are charged. So that's how it is with the divine masculine. He can run, but he cannot run away forever, and he has to come back. There's this pull, there is this magnetic attraction, and there is God who's playing out everything. Okay, we come to the next card here. Okay, this is the status as of now of the divine masculine. Okay, the status and the condition of the relationship. So he knows by now that by his behavior he has upset the divine feminine's feelings. You can see the cups here, the humors have split. The humors are the fluids of the soul. Okay, they are the divine feminine's soul emotions. He has spilt them. He has caused her emotional pain and heartache, emotional damage. But also there is an inner knowing in him that she still loves him enough to forgive him, because you see there are two cups behind him. But he's not feeling ready to face this, situation and face the confrontation and face the love. He's turned his back to this love. Instead, he's choosing to deny his love, deny the whole magical relationship, sometimes distract himself with various distractions, including karmics, drugs, alcohol. So in this way, he has painted his soul black. When your soul, when you have no love in you, then your soul becomes black. Okay, so this is represented by his black cloak. Okay, there's a debate here I would like to point out. This card is from the original Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Okay, and I know that in the Radiant Rider-Waite deck, this cloak is dark blue. Okay, but I see no problem in the two colors to suggest that, it means that he is in an unhappy state and devoid of love. Okay, I don't think dark blue would mean that, some other meaning than what I'm trying to say. But everybody has their own opinion. Okay, just wanted to clear that. I respect every tarot artist. They are the message that you're trying to give. So, to each his own, okay? Now, in the distance, you can see a bridge which leads to this home. Now, here, home represents the shared soul, coming back together and becoming one, represents a twin flame reunion, and that is coming home in the truest sense. Also, in the distance runs a river, representing the divine masculine's own emotions. He is distancing himself from his emotions to avoid being vulnerable to the divine feminine and to this divine love. That is very unhealthy, and it will cause him to have stress and anxiety. So let's come to the divine feminine. Okay, so here we have the Hermit. What is the divine feminine thinking? Okay, the divine feminine here, much like this Hermit, she walks her own path alone now, supported only by the wisdom she has gathered over the years, symbolized by this staff. This staff, a well-known symbol for healers, indicates that the divine feminine is in the process of healing herself, healing or becoming whole, reclaiming the parts of herself that she lost going through her karma in this life. She is not listening to the noise of other people's opinions that do not resonate anymore, and opinions which do not match her high spiritual consciousness. Being alone and removing all other influences is the best avenue to self-discovery. Okay, according to our 3D world, being alone is termed as being lonely. It's termed as like something is wrong with you, and everybody looks at you with like pity, and you're supposed to be some kind of social outcast. But when you ascend to the 5D, you realize that being alone is actually being with yourself. Those people in 3D, they are too afraid of facing themselves. They're too afraid of facing their soul. They try to engage in company and engage in the whole 3D chaos because they want to run away from themselves. In this way, when we are with ourselves, our light shines in the darkness and it grows stronger and stronger. And it may be that such a light, it attracts others, but that is not what is important. The divine feminine, your healing and raising of your vibration is not all about attracting your divine masculine or, becoming like this person who is very popular and everybody wants to be your friend. No. Anyone's light can be an example, but in the end, we must all light our way and heal ourselves. You notice that here the Hermit, who represents a divine feminine, is wearing the same black cloak that here our divine masculine is wearing. We picked up from here and we went to here. We came to the divine feminine wearing the same color of clothing, depicting that she's also devoid of love, or she's feeling, there is how you feel, and then there is the universal truth. So they're both feeling this way. It doesn't have to be the truth, because everybody is loved by God. If you only understand that whole process, but they are feeling devoid of love. In the next card here, this card is all about how the divine feminine sees the divine masculine. So, although by now, oh my god, high time, the divine feminine has a certain amount of resentment towards a divine masculine for running away and leaving her alone, she knows that it has been the divine masculine who has triggered her spiritual growth and made her come into her self love by focusing on her healing. You see this grand castle? Okay, I would say this is the 3D world, which looks very grand but is in fact a prison. The twin flame journey has caused the divine feminine to break free from the 3D prison the world is forced to live in to maintain the status quo. She is out of the 3D, ascending into the 5D and higher than that. She's full of joy for being free. This is like the movie. I like to, bring movies into my readings. I like to do that. It's my thing. Okay. The movie, The Truman Show. I'm sure a lot of people have seen that movie. He's living a fake life surrounded by these fake people. So it's kind of like that. The 3D is kind of like that's the 3D. In the Truman Show, the whole Truman's world in which he's brought up, that is the 3D. So the divine feminine, she has freed herself and is living her, or is trying to live. It's not so easy for everybody. Okay, everybody is struggling. Everybody is fighting their own battles. And she is at least trying to live her authentic life, the life that she had dreamt for herself. Okay, she understands that the 3D that we perceive as our reality is not actually real. She now knows about soul families, soul tribes, soul mates, twin flames, reincarnation, the universe, and how it all works. This structure here, it looks like a canopy which is put up for a wedding, and then this looks like a Greek wedding happening here. So yes, reunion is on the menu for the divine feminine and all the frills attached to it. But know that this journey is much more than about just that. Okay, let that just sink in, what I just said. It's very deep and profound, if I have to say so myself. Okay, the next card here. Okay, we see this old person, okay, do you realize that the divine feminine has been, in this reading at least, and in majority of the cards, she has been, at least 3 cards, she has been depicted as an old person. Okay, so that's pretty curious. Well, she is feeling like she has aged a lot spiritually. Okay, and also because the divine feminines, they are very old souls in their last incarnation. You see the subconscious mind of a woman. It cannot be accessed easily, by light or dark beings, or even by technology. So this is one of the reasons why the Supreme Almighty God is a woman. The last time I said that sparked a debate. Okay, I respect how everybody perceives and experiences God, and I don't want any negative energy created because of something I say. So let's all be in the mode of sharing our experiences and not trying to impose. Okay, I'm not trying to impose, I'm sharing. Okay, and it's up to you to take what resonates and leave behind what does not. Okay, continuing. So, because the Supreme Almighty is a woman, her subconscious mind cannot be accessed by any force in the universe, be it a light force or a dark force. Therefore, she cannot be hypnotized or influenced by anybody. Okay, that's how the universe is keeping everything in order. Now, Satan was white, and the Supreme God is a black woman. The war on the blacks, okay, on earth, it's actually like it's a as above so below reflection on Satan's war on God. Okay, and this war on the blacks on the planet earth, it was actually started by Satan. Okay, we go to the next card, and I would say Satan is a white woman. Okay, I don't know how many of you all will resonate with that, but let's move on. So in the next card, it's a card saying renewal. Okay, now the divine feminine is focusing on fully loving herself and becoming whole on her own. The pain experienced in this relationship pushes the divine feminine towards enormous soul healing as she realizes the old templates of earthly relationships don't count in this connection. This is a journey embarked upon with blind faith. I mean, sometimes she even feels like a fool, but she is unable to go back or to cut off from the DM. So I would say, and this is coming from the higher realms, you were married in front of God and took your vows together right in her presence. That is the ultimate truth. And whatever you're telling yourself to ease your longing is false. If you are in a false twin flame relationship, you need to get out as soon as possible. Okay, I know that there are a lot of people, a lot of divine feminines and divine masculines who think that their false twin is actually their twin flame, and they blame this beautiful journey. In a true twin flame relationship, the longing, the yearning, and the hurt is not inflicted. It occurs as a reaction in the divine feminine or the masculine due to their deep love. You understand what I'm saying, right? Okay, in the next card, this is again a Native American card, the warrior woman. The Native American warrior woman. So, the divine feminine, she has come a long way from her old 3D self, and she has become a warrior woman. And who is she warring against? Her battles are against societal archetypes. The Native Americans were actually having their own golden age, where in this scene, we can see this woman, she is bare chested and it doesn't look like she has any amount of body shame. She looks very proud of herself. So I'm sure they did not have like a free the nipple movement to liberate women. I mean, do you ever think, why do we need to liberate women? Who has imprisoned us? If every woman realized her true worth and came into her divine power, feminism would be a quality and not an activist movement. Okay, you see in the same card there is the waning crescent moon and there is a 8-pointed star. This is something very, very special. Okay, for those of you who don't know, the 8-pointed star is called the star of Ishtar. Okay, Ishtar is the goddess of love and war. She is also called Inanna, who in the Sumerian, when she is a Sumerian god, she's called Inanna. and she's called Ishtar in the East Semitic region. Okay, she is the goddess of love and war. I mean, one woman, goddess of love and war. Then the crescent moon here represents the god of the moon called Sin or Swen or called Nana. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here is, yes, I talk a lot about the symbology. It's very interesting to me. Also, it's interesting that there was one woman god, or you can, some people say goddess, but I would like to say god. One woman god who was the god of war also and love also. Okay. A woman can love fiercely and she can be a fierce warrior too. So I feel the divine feminine's evolution is towards the original woman that God had created in her own likeness. Sorry. Okay, next card is strength. Okay, I know when this card comes up, I myself have been saying, you have to be a source of strength for the divine masculine. But today, I will say that there are, certain animal parts in us that are born out of being a 3D sheeple. Being a source of strength to your divine masculine is fine and good. But you are to cultivate your own strength in the twin flame journey first, because this journey is not for the weak-minded and faint-hearted. You see, we have been living in the Kali Yuga, or the Kali Yuga more specifically, and I see women, encouraged to behave like men. Like, the whole media, they are throwing at you this tomboyish women, cowboys wearing hats, and the hat, that's a phallic symbol right there. It's a big phallus on a man's head showing his sexual powers. And like the media is encouraging women to behave like men, wear attire like men, and repress their feminine aspect. I know that there are genuine women who feel more masculine and they like to express it, and that's all fine. But it's really unhealthy to repress your feminine side and become a sheeple, become something you're not, just to fit in. You don't always have to be a source of strength to your divine masculine or to anybody. You're not a source. There is already a source in the universe, right? You are not a source. You are incarnated to experience this 3D so that you can ascend and then experience other realities. On the way, you can help people if you want to with your free will. But that's not an obligation. Remember that. You're not obligated to do anything for anybody. Work on your own strength first. Okay, that's the message of this card. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for, I read all your comments. I find them very interesting. People really listen to what I have to say, and they comment and they write beautiful words, and I read everything. Okay, and I try to reply in my readings itself if I cannot reply to each comment. So thank you for all the love and everything, and have a fantastic day. Okay, so till next time, it's bye from me.